We're at the slipway this afternoon with this Jeanneau Leader 805. So this is a 2006 boat with the more desirable Volvo Penta D4 260 horsepower Sterndrive diesel. It's only got 246 or 47 hours on the clock, I think. And it's a beautiful boat, lovely condition, very lightly used. And always good to get one of these 805s in because they're super popular. Let me see if I can see the prop size on these ones. A pair of bronze Volvo props. They are, let's see here, G4. Yeah, Volvo G4 props. That's a G4 rear, and we've got a G4 front. Props in pretty good condition. Sterndrive is in nice shape as well. And yeah, just a lovely boat this. So we're going to launch it now. We're going to put it on the water and put her through her paces and show you exactly how this boat performs on the water. So we're on the water now. We've got the boat launched in the river and it's running lovely. So I'm going to put the boat on the plane now. I'll show you, take it up to sort of cruising speed, and then we'll do a full speed run as well and just show you exactly how this boat performs on the water. But first of all, just to walk you through the controls quickly, we've got EVC controls on this boat, so digital fly-by-wire throttle and shift controls, and EVC control panel up here for starting the engine, EVC trim as well. We've got our bow thruster controls here also. But throttle and shift is fly-by-wire, so you engage forward, you have a slight pause, and then it takes up forward gear. Back to neutral, go for reverse. Again, same thing, slight pause, and then you get the gear engaging. So that's all working really well. Nice controls. Steering's nice and light. Hydraulic steering on this boat is nice and light. And you know, I'm sitting down. This is me sitting on top of the engine, of the seat bolster, and I'm looking straight through the middle of the screen. Plenty of room to stand, and you get great visibility whenever you've got the covers down. Great visibility all the way around the boat from a standing position. And if we fold the seat bolster down, you're sitting sort of nice and low. The only thing is the chart plotter slightly obscures your view whenever you're sitting down without the bolster up, but I think probably sitting on top of the bolster is maybe the most convenient position. Trim the drive down for getting on plane, so drive trim fully down. All the instruments on this boat are working perfectly. We've got our oil pressure here, temperature here, tacho with built-in hour clock, currently showing 247 hours on the clock for this boat. Voltmeter showing 13.6 volts, so it's charging okay. And you get your little multi-function warning system for the Volvo as well. And the other thing we're going to be looking at here is the Raymarine chart plotter. So speed reading's a little bit small, 4.2 knots at idle. This is your depth readout here, 20 foot of water, and your little chart display as well. So we will try and look at this speed reading when we're underway, but it might be hard to pick up on the camera. Radio and stuff all works. Everything in this boat's fully operational. So trim down. I'm going to put the boat on plane here now. It's up on plane in a heartbeat. So here we go. Get lined up. You don't even need to give it full throttle either. About half throttle this thing goes. But let's get her on plane and take her up to cruising speed. There you go, on plane in a few seconds. You don't lose sight of the horizon either. And she sits and runs lovely at this sort of speed. So we've got the trim fully down, the drive trim. We're doing 2700 RPM on the tacho. Oil pressure, temperature, all looks good. And we're doing 20 knots, just over 20 knots, 20.8 knots. There we go. So that's really comfortable cruising speed. 2700 RPM, 20 knots, nice and relaxed. Boats feel super smooth. What we'll do now is we'll bring the speed up a wee bit. We'll give it some trim on the drive, trim up the drive angle a wee bit. So lift the leg up and go full throttle here. So she should rev out to about 3700 RPM or thereabouts. Motoring now. So that's us running at 3700 RPM. Temperature and pressure look good. We're doing 31.5 knots here. We'll do a wee run here at 3000 RPM, which I would sort of class as your fast cruise. 3000 RPM, we're doing 24 knots. That's going to be your sort of fast cruise. That's how the Leader 805 runs with the Volvo Penta D4 260 horsepower Sterndrive. There's bags of power in this boat. It gets up on plane quickly. We're lightly loaded here today, but it's on the plane in a heartbeat. Then you don't lose sight of the horizon. Even with a full complement of passengers on board, this thing's going to plane very easily. And it's just a really smooth running boat, nice solid feeling boat as well. You know, it's that extra bit of beam that you get on these Leader 805s really does make a difference to how solid it feels in the water. And this boat, the minimum planing speed was around about 16 knots that we found today. The maximum speed flat out we saw was 32 or 31.9 knots, which is about 35, 36, 37 miles an hour, something like that. And the cruising, your sort of comfortable cruising speed is going to be anywhere from around about 19, 20 knots up to 24, 25 knots. So the engine's, you know, nice and smooth. It's not too noisy at those sort of speeds. You can have conversations with your passengers and just make your, you know, nice relaxed progress. Everything in this boat is working perfectly as well. All the instruments are working perfectly. The Raymarine C70 chart plotter is working perfect, giving us our depth speed information and our chart plotter as well. I've tested the bow thruster and all on this one as well, and it's responded well to that. Throttle and shift's nice. All the controls are nice and smooth and solid, which you would expect from a boat that's only run for 247 hours. So yeah, it's easy to see why these Leader 805s are so popular. They're a very assured boat on the water. They behave and feel like a much bigger boat on the water as well. So I'm really impressed with how this one's running, and hopefully you are too. We're going to put the boat back on plane now and head back to the slipway. And yep, so that's how the Leader 805 runs. Hope you found the video useful. Thanks for watching.